Beloved heart, before we begin, I have a special gift for you. If you've been feeling the intensity of Earth's rising plasma light codes and want to stay centered in your body and heart and energy field, I've created a free light language quantum grounding activation just for you. This transmission will help you stabilize, integrate, and align with the new frequencies flowing onto the planet. Simply join my mailing list. See the link that's in the show notes to receive instant access. Let's ground into the light together. This is the transfiguration of the new you. Hello, beloved. Welcome back to another episode. Today on my podcast, Ascended Earth, we're entering a conversation that so many of you have been feeling in your bodies, in your hearts, in your nervous system. The energy on the planet is intensifying. Timelines are accelerating. And for empaths and sensitives, this isn't just an idea. It's a lived experience, like it's an actual experience for us who are very sensitive and very much an empath. If you've ever felt overwhelmed by emotions that didn't feel like they were yours, if you've been observing the collective contraction and wondering why you feel exhausted or is overstimulated, or if you've ever questioned whether your sensitivity is actually a gift or a burden, this episode's for you. And in fact, I've had another episode where I've always said that sensitivity is your superpower because it is. So, because the truth is, the sensitives are not collapsing, they are very much rising. This is our time to rise as the sensitives and the empaths. We were made for this time now. And when they learn to alchemize emotional overload into intuitive mastery, everything changes. So today I'm joined by an amazing guest, Erika Ristovsky. And I hope I'm saying your name correctly. So
Got it right.
awesome. So she is a speaker, a consultant, and author who helps midlife professionals use the experience they already have to build their next chapter of purpose and success. She is devoted to turning life's pain into purpose, one real story at a time. And today, she's here to share how sensitives can reclaim their power in a world that feels increasingly loud. So, we're diving into grounded tools, emotional sovereignty, quantum awareness, and what it truly means to transmute overwhelm into clarity, purpose, and inner authority. So, let's all open our hearts for this conversation. The sensitives are rising, turning energetic overwhelm into quantum power. Welcome, Erika, to this episode and joining us here right now.
Thank you so much, Monica, for having me. I'm so excited to be here and to co-create with all of you.
Yes, so great to be co-creating right now. We need more and more of this support and this co-creation and collaboration with one another. So let's start with maybe getting a bit about your backstory, right? What led you into like doing all of this?
Yes, well, this is one of my favorite topics, turning what it feels like a curse into your superpower. Since have
Mm.
memory, I had always have intuitive gifts, what we call it now. But at the time, I didn't know because I grew up in a very Catholic family. We didn't have this information, and through my search and not really finding answers and not really finding support, I became really introverted, very shy, very insecure. So it took me years. When I turned 17, I discovered that I was a medium. I didn't know such a name before. And I understood a lot of things. I met a lot of people like me. I studied Gnosticism, I studied astrology, esotericism, Buddhism, like many things because my mind was just so curious. I want to take it all in. And during that time, it was also very hard for me to fall asleep because I didn't know it at the time, but I was so open, so available. My field was so porous that I was tuning into all kinds of things, all kinds of thought forms, all kinds of vibrations, good, bad, and everything in between. So it was really hard for me to navigate life, especially being a teenager, right? Like with all the hormones, with like trying to find myself plus that. So in my journey, I also discovered Spiritism, and it really helped me kind of like hone in my gifts and elevate myself morally and understanding that our soul is eternal. So the more I work in myself and I started supporting others and supporting people, learning about entities, learning about interference, learning about all these things that I didn't know at the time. So I gathered so many tools throughout my life and made that what it felt like so daunting, so extremely hard at the time into my mission to support others like myself to find the support, to find the information, to find the answers that they're looking for, that they're not crazy, because I used to think that I was crazy. I used to think that I was weird, that there was nobody else in the world like me, till that door opened and I understood that there's many, many, many like us. And yeah, so I founded my business with that in mind, to helping us all transform, but especially my focus lies into helping people remember where we came from, remembering who are we meant to be, remember our true essence, because when we get here, we just get so distracted with all the program, with all the distractions, with all the things that is like kind of like throwing at us to keep us away from being in purpose, from living consciously. So it's a little bit about that. It's like my feel like my goal and my mission is to support everybody that is getting this calling to be really in that direction of like owning themselves, owning their energy, and being really conscious about what they are creating in this lifetime.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like, as you were sharing the story, there's a parallel going on because some people are starting to, a lot more people are starting to feel that sensitivity, that's rising. And it could be that some people are starting to tap into their channeling ability, to their medium ability, and they just don't know what's going on, you know?
Mhm.
So what kind of advice would you give someone who's probably like feeling that right now?
Well, don't resist it, because it's all part of the greater plan. It's not an accident that a lot of people are waking up right now. There's like a lot of solar weather happening to activate us, our dormant DNA, to remember our radiance, to remember our purpose. So it feels like chaos because it's been so accelerated. And sometimes the body cannot kind of understand in a way this movement, because it works with the fascia, it works with the mitochondria, it works with like all parts of you. And like poor to little you, you're trying to regulate yourself, and sometimes what it translates into is anxiety. Like you just feel anxious, you just feel overwhelmed, you just feel exhausted. So I would recommend, if you are experiencing any of these things like uneasiness, and also that you have awareness of things, that you're like, oh my gosh, it feels like I can sense things, it feels like I feel too much. Don't take it as something negative, because as Monica mentioned earlier, that's really your superpower. It's a higher awareness, and it's available to all of us. That is our birthright, and it feels like it's new to us because we're kind of just relearning how to utilize that part of us, but it's always been. And part of all these solar activations is to bring us to our natural rhythm, and resisting it is going to cause more constriction and more pain and more distress in all of your systems. So I would highly recommend, well, look for a network, look for support around you, books that feel supportive for you, or practitioners that you might feel aligned to, but also for the body, especially the non-negotiable that I always tell people, especially through these times: grounding, hydration, rest, taking your minerals, magnesium, calcium, zinc, iron, everything that your body really needs. Like, what are you, where are you missing something that your body might need? And also, what we take for granted is that life is so fast paced. But in these times, and especially when we are kind of rediscovering ourselves, it's very important to be a little bit slower, like a slower rhythms, a slower with yourself, like having a ritual when you go in your to bed, when you're going about the day, like having intentions, because what you're really becoming is becoming aware of your own existence, of your energy, of what is around you. And there's so many things kind of happening simultaneously. And one exercise that I also recommend to my clients is to, instead of suppressing what you're feeling, it could be an emotion, it could be a feeling, it could be a thought form, it could be anything. Instead of like, oh my gosh, like, tap into it and just surrender and ask yourself, like, what am I aware of? What is my body trying to tell me? Or what is this feeling trying to tell me? What am I aware of? And surrendering rather than resisting it is gonna help your body deal with it. Because, like, if we just think about the body, like we have the fascia, and this is like the inner ocean of the body. So when we constrict, it's like it's not flowing, it's not moving. But the more we allow it to move, even through dance, even through movement,
Mhm.
even through questioning, because also we can make solid things when we are like, I'm just depressed. I'm depressed. And some people are like, I'm just not feeling it. Like that's it, set in stone. But you question like, that's interesting. When did I start feeling that? What made me feel depressed? Hmm. What caused it? Since when? And the more you question it, it's like that movement, you're bringing it out from that kind of like solid state and allowing it to move into something else. So my real recommendation is to approach whatever comes your way with curiosity rather than setting in a stone like this is that, because it makes it a lot harder for you to move beyond that.
Well said. Yes. And I'm glad you brought up those key points, especially about the solar flares and the sun being so active now more than ever. I mean, there's always
Mhm.
been solar flares, but I remember a time when it really started to get super active was like it's somewhere in like 2024. And ever since then, and maybe you could tell us a little more what you sense, right? Do you sense like for 2026 that this is going to increase even more?
Yes, I do feel that. I feel that it's intensifying. I feel that the soul is kind of at its maximum expression. Also, because there's a time of acceleration for us to, like, in a way, energetically, it's like get it together really fast. So we kind of have been playing around for some time. And we tend to think that it's just us that us with our human existential crisis and our own problems, but really we're part of a greater collective with like the multiverse and other beings and other levels of consciousness that we are influencing and they are influencing us on us being kind of stagnant is not a word, but kind of like staying in that, I don't want to awaken, I don't want to awaken for too long is really non-supportive for the rest of them in a way. So we are not just getting the solar flares in my awareness, we're also getting a lot of assistance with like non-physical beings that are like, okay, you guys, we're here to support you. We're here to give you all the tools. We really want you to, they really desire the highest good for all. And of course, we have duality. There are some other beings that that's not their priority, but we really want to focus on what is supportive and beneficial for us.
Yeah, for sure. So I love how you express that perspective. It's a new way of looking at that, about the sun and also about the non-physical beings as well, right? Can you give an example of which one of these non-physical beings that you've interacted with or seen or, felt?
Yes, so Pleiadians, Arcturians are the ones that really want us to accelerate our growth, our expansion. They are just dropping so many codes of okay of information here and there
Yes.
for people have like similar ideas. Like I'm
Mhm.
just gonna do this and I'm just gonna change that and I'm just gonna and it's like yes, if you are open and receptive to that information, if you're a vibrational match for that then you're going to receive it. But if we tend to focus on like, I feel constricted, I feel tired, or I'm depressed, or I'm anxious, yes, see it, experience it. But my recommendation is not to stay there. Like, yeah, embrace the suck. What is it? What is there? See it, experience it. Like I'm full advocate of embracing the suck, but staying there is really detrimental to us all because going back to that example that we're all interconnected, we are also interconnected as physical beings here because if we share this quantum field, and I always refer to as I give us a really easy example, like to my clients, they laugh about this. It's like we are in a soup. So imagine that we're all ingredients to the soup. And if I'm a little saltier and somebody is a little sour and somebody's a little sweet and like right, we're in close proximity, part of that soup, at the end of the day, we are going to alter the taste of the soup. So really be conscious about what ingredients you bring into the soup so that we all participate in it, we all in being in this collective field. So especially us that are a little bit maybe more aware, maybe more in tune with things, like being really conscious about our thoughts of what is happening, because right now what it feels is sometimes I tap into like, and it's also depends. I don't know what is your experience, Monica, but like when I travel, and it's like some places feel more calm, and some places feels like being in a wormhole. Like, oh my gosh, so
Yeah.
many things happening, and like everything is like all over, and it's just like sensing thought forms and sensing all kinds of things all over. So it depending on where you are. So notice that too, because some places it's easier to feel calmer, and some places it's a little bit more challenging. So have that awareness. And if it's a little bit challenging, well, just do extra things for you to support yourself, right? Like you're grounding more, you breathing exercises. Also, like something that I've been using myself is the solarized water. So I have these blue containers that are crystal, and I put the water on the sun to really help me do my body kind of metabolize this solar codes that are happening so that I have easier integration, because it is so accelerated right now. It's the good, the bad, and the in between. So it's like the calling for you is like, what do you want to tune into? What do you want to put your focus on?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I like the soup analogy. I call it like the whole like energy, when things feel calm or like all of a sudden, all these energies coming in, I call that being like energy drunk. Um
Yes.
get like into energy hungover and like and
Yeah.
so when I do feel that energy drunk is like, whoosh, like all this, like all of a sudden I really heightened energy. I go outside if I can immediately place my bare feet on the ground. And that usually just, brings it back to the, regrounded and rebalance, but it also helps like the nervous system. And that's why grounding, being emphasized essential right now for like,
Yeah.
it's our natural state actually. We were always meant to be like grounded with Mother Earth. And we kind of like lost roots with a lot of that with nature's connection because we spend most of our time in offices and buildings, and especially when we're in the city, right? Um, we forget, we disconnect it from nature, which is our natural state, I would say. So yeah, these are very important tools and reminders for people to like get back out there because that's really what the solar flare is kind of like pushing us towards more is to reconnect back into nature. At least that's what I sense from that. And
Definitely. And
yeah,
going back to that is true. I feel that part of the um, imposed beliefs is that we are need to be doing and we need to be working, and all the 9 to 5 stories and all this doing, and really we're not meant to be doing. We're meant to be being, and kind of more neutral and more grounded and more stable, not like kind of like I even go back to myself like years ago, and it's like I was into fight or flight. My nervous system was like so dysregulated. I was so anxious. I was clinically depressed. I just refused to take medications. And I swore to myself, I need to get myself out of this. Like, I'm going to get out of this. And that's how my journey started. Like, with me just declaring that I'm going to get out of this without medications. And this is not normal. That way of being like always doing, always active, always responding is really not natural.
yeah, exactly. And going back to like earlier, you were talking about the galactic beings, which is one of my favorite topics, and I know is a favorite topic for many here as well. Um, but do you resonate? Which one of the galactic beings do you resonate the most, or do you resonate more with the Pleiadians and the Arcturians?
Hmm. I will say the Pleiadians because I was working when I had my previous practice, it was called Angelic Ray Healing Practice, and I will have different Pleiadians come in at different time. Since I started working with quantum energy, I started tuning into this group, a collective that they call themselves they're like in a 22nd dimension, but they don't like to share information. They are staying away from information. Like I don't want to tell you who I am, what's my name, or what's my origin, or these kind of things, because our human brain wants to go there. We want the story, we want everything, and it's like it's this really interesting, the whole diversity of beings that are out there, and when we make ourselves allow ourselves to connect to them and get like different experiences and different responses.
Unlock your limitless potential with the monthly multiversal circle of creation. This sacred quantum manifestation ritual will awaken your inner power and connect you to the successful versions of yourself across the multiverse. Clear blocks, amplify your creative energy, and set powerful intentions for abundance, love, and possibilities. Activate your galactic aspects, recalibrate your nervous system, and manifest your dreams with cosmic clarity. Available in person and via Zoom. Join us for this transformative experience today.
Oh, nice. Would they like to share anything now?
Okay, let's see. Hmm. Yeah, how about we reset our field together?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. So close your eyes and find yourself in a comfortable position and allow all your thoughts to just disperse, releasing everything that it doesn't support you and anything that is holding you from being present. Just allow yourself to let it go. Bring into your awareness your central channel. That's the breathing force, your breathing source through it. I invite you to take a deep breath through your nose, and as you breathe, imagine this central channel as a vacuum, just receiving light codes and source information. With your exhale, you're releasing all that no longer serves, all those thought forms, all limitations, actual limitations, and perceived limitations. As you're amplifying, you're receiving codes through your central channel. I invite you to activate the cores, the roots below your feet, to simultaneously release what is draining you, what is anchoring you, and what is holding you back from your highest becoming. As you breathe, imagine your chest expanding in all directions. And as you expand your chest, you're amplifying your capacity to receive. Only through receiving is that you become more of you. Just allowing yourself to receive the totality of you, the radiance that you are, the wisdom that you bring, the gift and the contribution that you are to the world. And as you're expanding, you're connecting to all the light workers around the world, those beacons of light placed at different locations strategically to support the greater plan. And through the expansion of your receiving the light that you are, you're also broadcasting that frequency, that unequivocal light, to be in contribution with one another, to be in contribution with the collective. That is your gift, is through being and receiving. I invite you to repeat in your mind, I allow myself to be visible. I allow myself to shine. I allow myself to receive the love that I am. I allow myself to receive the world as it is. And take another deep breath and expanding your chest in all directions. You're amplifying. Your light quotient by 100%. Your own radiance, your own rhythm, your own song. And take a few moments to notice your body. And open your eyes when you're ready.
That
Getting
was a
sweaty.
nice surprise for the Palladians.
Get really sweaty and it's so cold in here.
Yeah, that was I really felt the reset like in the collective, like for those who were willing to do this exercise, with the Palladians, who are listening to go back and re-listen to it, especially when you're feeling overwhelmed, because that's really what it felt like to me, is like calming the noise, and going through that reset in that void of, the infinite beings that each and every one of us are. So that's what it felt to me. And I saw like everybody who was like connecting and broadcasting, like the whole planet, and I could feel it through the field of the earth itself. Um, so that was very nice. Thank you.
Of course, my pleasure. Yeah, it felt really beautiful. I was like the world like a map and all the beams of light all over the world was, yes, yes, very
Yes.
powerful. And that's the calling really right now. I know that some of us tend to think overwhelmed, to feel a certain way, but like really use that as like, oh my gosh, I am just really aware. I'm just tapping into multiple realities. So how could I support that? How could I support that awareness, right? That feeling disempowered with that, because as we mentioned through this whole topic, is yes, that is, it needs to be amplified. Your visibility, the light that you bring, all of that, and just through being, you don't have to be anything extra. Just being authentic self.
Yeah, that's right. The overwhelm is kind of like a fuel, I would say, to like, stepping into, I guess, your next level.
Mhm. Yes, yeah, yeah, of course, and also we hope we go through all those stages as we are awakening, and it's like before clarity, we go through this phase, like it feels like so much chaos.
Yeah, for sure. What dimensional Palladians did you say they were? The collective that you tapped in?
22nd dimension.
Okay, that's interesting. Um, but what has been your experience with the 22 dimensional Palladians?
I go to these chambers that they call it the healing chambers, and there it's all about reset, and they have really incredible, I wouldn't say equipment, but it's something around those lines for rapid
Mm,
healing, like surgical ways, like it is kind of like a chamber. It feels like aquatic. It feels like it's warm in the inside. It feels like it has glass cover, and it's sort of like a base is kind of like metallic structure. And I know that some of this intelligence it has been used in this planet, and it's kind of like being tested with like certain groups and certain individuals, and it's like very, very interesting because I feel that in a way they really want to connect with us because they want to make that available for all of us. It's just that, of course, there's duality, and there's some people that
Mm.
wouldn't use it for good. But that's kind of what this awakening really wants to bring in us, to like bring that desire to work in unison for the highest good of all, right? Not for selfish reasons. So they know, because it's not like us that we say, I am a good person, but behind the scenes we
Yeah.
can be whatever. They can really know by frequency first that what we're up to, and they connect to the individuals that they feel that they can use that in a way that is supportive for everyone. So it's been interesting because I started connecting. I think it was like back in 2022, and I was washing dishes, and all these beings were coming. Like, I was doing simple things, and they were coming in with information and a lot in visuals, because I get a lot of visuals. And for me, it's been like a discovery of like pieces, bits and pieces of information through like random times.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's how they really start to connect, right? When we're
Mhm.
doing like short, like different activities in the house, or could just be cleaning, because I would say usually when we're doing stuff, right, like cleaning and all this other stuff, we kind of enter into like this whole other area of channeling that we're not
Mhm.
like yet so aware.
Yeah.
So we're allowing that to be open vessel to receiving, messages from others, from our guides and so forth. Um,
Yes.
yeah, that was very, very nice. Yeah, thank you for sharing that with us.
Of course.
So tell me more about like the quantum power, because you've used that with your clients, and how does that come in with your clients? Like, how do you work with that?
Yes, I developed a method that I call the quantum wave method. So how it works is everything that is invisible, our emotional body, our spiritual body, mental body, and we tap into different timelines to see if there is any wounded in the past. Also,
Mm.
we can tap into future timelines and kind of like bring them forward. It's never anything, nothing is ever forced. It's always in accordance with you, the nomadic self on the individual, like what is feels aligned, what feels right at the moment. So it's not forcing, it's not striving, it's not pushing anything. It's just like, okay, following that divine plan that is very individual, and seeing what is in the way of that happening. So we go to all those places of, okay, where do we need to support and transform and transmute, so that you can amplify who you came here to be. So it's a little bit of, it's very woo woo.
I actually don't consider it woo-woo. To me, it's catching up as well. That because of the quantum realm, quantum physics, and quantum mechanics, they're all interconnected, some way or another, and scientists are just catching up to what the ancients have always known. Um, yeah, I study like science, so I come with like a scientific background. So like for me, whenever like when I first got in right into this whole like working with the energies and all that, I kept hearing everybody say woo woo, and I was like, what is that word? Because it just
A
like felt
lot
it was a
of
normal thing for me.
that. That's what everybody uses when I just try to describe my work. And they're like, oh, that's just like woo woo stuff. I'm like, okay, okay, I
Yeah,
guess.
well, things are about to change because scientists are really like catching up to a lot of stuff, and they're saying, you know what? What Albert Einstein was talking about quantum physics, he was right.
And
Even though he
he was
was
one of the
theoretical.
pioneers that said that the future of medicine is the future is frequencies, working with
Yeah.
frequencies. So, oh my gosh, like he was so ahead of his time.
Oh, yeah, very much. And he was a mystic also and a channeler. Like a lot of people don't realize that because he would get a lot of information through dreams. And, there's a lot of revelations that can happen in dreams. So, yeah, so that's why like I use him as an example of like the integration of science with, the metaphysics and the mysticism. Um,
Mhm.
And but yeah, so these are, some very important things right now as we're all going through all these changes. So what has been like, from your experience, a misconception about, sensitivity or empaths that you wish the world understood?
For me, when my whole life, I felt like I was a burden. So for me, it feels like being that's what the world perceives, like, oh, you're too sensitive, like, oh, you're too annoying, like that's too much to deal with you. Like I felt like that my entire life because of my too muchness. Like my awareness was too much, and just other people were not tuning into those things. So for me, it's like that is our normal. That is our normal, and we just like the more that we can normalize just being open and being empathic and being sensitive to other people's emotions, and connecting to the world, and connecting to others as our natural way of being, not like being disempowered by it. Like if the more that we can normalize it, the more that we can accept it, the more that we can embrace it, and the more that we can love that about ourselves. Because like if we think about the old paradigm, that it was very masculine, very structured, very rigid, very like, like wanting only power and kind of like very constricted,
Yeah.
to like the new paradigm that we're moving to, that is more feminine, more about community, is more about collaboration, is more about how could I contribute. So is that is our nature. That is the contribution part, because we are in contribution with each other, whether we want it or not. So being empathic is like you are already a big contribution just being. So the
Yeah.
most important is having an awareness that is normal. And the second one that I would like to really, I never emphasize enough, is like energetic hygiene. We really need to take care. And I say it because for many years I didn't. So I know how it is. We're so good at helping others. We're so good at listening to everybody's problems. We're so good at like being there for whoever needs us. But we forget about the most important person in our life, that is ourselves, right? When we're
Yeah.
mothers, partners, or whatever. Like I used to work in school, like as a teacher, like I know how it is. So that's why I'm telling you, like really, really take care of yourself, really dedicate and consecrate time for yourself. Check in with yourself, like with your emotions, like, how am I feeling? What is happening through my inner world? Like, I'm feeling a little bit sad. Maybe it was because of a conversation that I had earlier. Like maybe it's something that was said, or like really explore. Like don't bury them. Don't let those things, don't carry that baggage with you, because it's gonna affect you down the line.
I love that energetic hygiene. That's that's the first that I heard that term, but that's a very important point about our self-care. I feel that it is very essential. Otherwise, we just get depleted. It's like a battery in a cell phone. We gotta like charge ourselves in our own way. Whatever the way that is. Whether that be through nature and just not get overloaded by carrying others,
Mhm.
stories maybe, or, energy cords. So yeah, so I like that.
And
um,
especially now that it's coming the time to be with family, and it's like, okay, really, really, really,
holidays.
really take care of yourself. Yes.
Yeah, that is a very good point. Now that we're getting into the holiday, being with family and other people around. So definitely want to use that to practice that in check. And being aware of what you're feeling in that moment, because as being a super sensitive, sometimes, that's the key too, is just being aware. And I think for a long time I wasn't aware like how much of a sensitive I was, growing up. um, so that's a key, very key aspect in that. So what would be like, some key tips, right, for somebody who is not really sure if they're really sensitive? Like how would you, describe to them what they're feeling?
If they're not really sure if they're sensitive, but they are picking up on things and they're feeling affected, I guess, by things. Well, going back to like we are all are,
Yeah.
to a certain degree, like some more than others. Yeah, it's like even though you feel like maybe there's a little bit of that in you, and we all have it, how can you take care of yourself, and how can you deal with those awarenesses of with that you're feeling? Because this is what I started seeing when I opened my practice, and I had even the percentage. I was like, like 98 of the people that comes to see me, they're just carrying other people's stuff, and they just come saying like, I feel this way and I feel that way, and it's always something different, but it comes down to the same. You're holding something that is not yours. You're carrying a burden that is not yours. You're carrying baggages from years and years and years ago. And it's like, let it go. I really, what is coming through right now is for you to make inventory. Like, you really, if the holidays are coming, like, make inventory of your life and see how you feel in your life. Are you satisfied? Like, what's happening? Like, what things bring you joy? What things you feel good about? And what things you maybe feel that might need a little work, might need a little more focus, or like maybe you can show up differently in order to transform, so that it's like quantum energy. The more you focus on something, the more you change the results of that. So when you really bring that energy of focus to an aspect of your life, it could be your relationship, your finances, your anything, your friendships, anything. When you really bring in all of you in that intention to like, okay, maybe it could be better, that's the moment, because awareness creates shift. So when you have that awareness that something is not really working, then energetically that something really starts moving kind of like behind the scenes, right? And it's a little bit of a process, but really start with making inventory, I will say, and see what is working in your life, what is not working. Do you like where you are? Would you like to be at a different place? Like, what is holding you back? Like, really ask those questions, because life gets in the way, and sometimes we just get distracted by all the things and we just forget about ourselves.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Thank you for sharing that. So we're going to come to a conclusion, but before we do, I just want to tell the listeners to find Erika's contact information in the show notes. All her information is there if you want to get in touch with her. And also go back and re-listen to that 22 dimensional Pleiadian reset that we just did earlier. And would love to hear from the listeners how it was for you. Let us know through the comments. So before we conclude, though, are some of your, I guess, final thoughts?
Personal invitation for everyone listening. And if you found this by resonance and you listen to this, I really invite you to be seen, to allow yourself to be seen, and to stop hiding, to stop diminishing your magic, diminishing your light. The world really needs you. We need you. We need you to be in your power. We need you to be fully seen, fully experienced. So really make it your mission to be a contribution to this world, to step into what you came here to be. And yeah, we are gonna get this together. So we are in co-creation with each other. So we need each other. So that is really my invitation. If you're listening to this, there is no accident. This message is for you.
We are definitely rising as the sensitives, so this is our time now to really shine and be visible. And we are co-creating and weaving our magic together, or like the soup, as the analogy was shared earlier. So we'll make a perfect, tasty soup coming out of this. But thank you so much, Erika. Just, for being a guest and for sharing your wisdom with us, your perspectives, and also for the channel message earlier. That was really amazing. A nice surprise from the Pleiadians, our friends, our star family.
My places, yes, of course, my pleasure.
All right, everyone, and I will catch you in another episode.
If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to click like, save, and share with others so they can also experience what you just experienced. And stay tuned for some more high vibe episodes, and I'll be connecting with you in the next quantum field. Sending you so much love.